The reason I'm shaking is because I'm a veteran. I remember not that long ago, whenever we used to use community care, which was the program set up at the VA to basically, if you need care at the VA and they can't get you in for more than like 2 or 3 months, you could just go out to the community, find someone in your community that will take you in as a client, and basically just tell them, call the VA and we're good. Um, that later morphed into, this is just, I don't know, a couple administrations ago or last administration, I'm not sure. Um, Opt into now community care is an actual middle person now. So when you go somewhere, it has to go through community care first. They have to be the ones that actually recommend you to somebody. Now, what I didn't know was that somebody, so they should just say, okay, well, these people are, you're able to go through. Okay, I'll get to that part in a second. Um, it wasn't until recently when I started going back for healthcare again. I'm sorry, mental health care, that they had mentioned they have to be within our network. Now, what does that mean? The VA is the VA. It's the government, right? That doesn't matter. No, what it is now is community care is actually now somehow got mixed up with Optum. Optum is now it's not VA, it's Optum. And if you go and you're looking for a mental health provider in the community, they'll say, oh, they're not in Optum's, whatever circle, or I can't even remember what it's called, network. They're not in the network. And there's only like 2 or 3 mental health providers in my area that are actually in the Optum network because it's seen as like a lower tier, like not very good health care. But that is literally what they're using to pay for veterans health care now if they have to go to the community. So if you ever have to go to the community, it's no longer community care. It has to be an Optum's network. Did they just fucking privatize VA healthcare right under our noses? I'm really curious about that. Did they really just do that right under our noses using the community care program? I'm genuinely curious if anyone can think about this. If you're familiar with it, if you're a veteran that goes through this process, I'm blown away right now. I can't believe this. I think they just fucking privatized VA healthcare.
This is the new low for insurance companies. You guys are familiar with Optum, right? So Optum has decided to go into the payday loan business for physicians. Because it takes so long to process an insurance claim, Optum has decided to offer loans to doctors to help the little practice out until you get your pay. A payday loan. A freaking payday loan. How about just pay the insurance claims, friends? See, this is, there was just a bunch of whistleblowers who came out of Aetna saying that there are computer algorithms that automatically deny a bunch of claims. And so then we have to enter the appeals process and it takes so long. And so they delay. And now they're offering loans to cover these delays to keep you afloat. Oh my God. If you're familiar with payday loans, you know that the interest rates are obscene. And so look at this. It goes up to 36%, but look, implied annual rate. Oh my God. There's so much vague language in these contracts. You know how they're funding this? They're partially funding this with investors, and they're telling their investors they're going to get a 15% rate of return on their investment. So of course, investors are going to be like, woo, yeah, 15%. Yeah, sign me up. How is this allowed? I can't believe the Securities and Exchange Commission have not intervened in these types of transactions yet. This is so unethical. Wow.
Hey everyone, this is Katie Adams with Med City News, and I wanted to hop on TikTok today to give you an update on the cyber attack on Change Healthcare that we're hearing so much about this week. Now, Change Healthcare is a company that processes patient payments for hospitals, pharmacies, and other healthcare organizations, and it is owned by Optum, which is a subsidiary of the insurance giant United Health Group. So on Wednesday, United Health Group files a notice with the SEC saying that an unauthorized party has gained access to Change Healthcare systems, and that Change Healthcare is working to address the issue and has taken these systems offline. Now, I'm talking to you midday Friday, and as of right now, Change Healthcare systems still appear to be very offline. In its filing with the SEC, United Health Group said that the actor who gained access to Change Healthcare's systems was a suspected nation-state associated cybersecurity threat actor. So In the past, the U.S. federal government has been clear in saying that, nation-state adversaries to the U.S. may very well target critical industries like healthcare when waging cyber attacks against the U.S. Some of these nation-state adversaries listed by the federal government include Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran, but we don't really have any details on which individual or cyber criminal group has hacked Change Healthcare. But what we do know is that this is causing disruptions at all U.S. military pharmacies worldwide, as well as a lot of retail pharmacies here in the U.S. So as of the time I'm recording this on Friday, neither CVS nor Walgreens, the country's two biggest pharmacy chains, have put out official statements on how this outage is affecting their pharmacy operations, but both of them did get back to Mid-City News on Friday. CVS said that it's working hard to fill its prescriptions, but in certain cases it might not be able to process insurance claims because of the outage. And Walgreens said that the vast majority of its prescriptions aren't really being impacted by the cyber attack. The American Hospital Association has stepped in to encourage all healthcare organizations that house patient data to really consider disconnecting from Change Healthcare until the company can get this issue under control. So that's kind of where things stand. There's a few uncertainties, one being who the cyber criminal group or hacker in question was, when Change Healthcare is going to be able to get its systems back online, and then also just exactly how many pharmacies and prescriptions have been affected by this outage, and how long those disruptions continue to go on. So we'll be watching and waiting. Curious to hear everyone's thoughts on if we're going to see more attacks like this in 2024, because it seems like that might be the case.
Hello tribe, welcome again to this particular show. I go by Sherlock in case this is your first time. Today's day, the US healthcare industry facing mounting turmoil with a combination of cyber attacks, mass layoffs, and of course controversial financial practices sparking outrage and widespread disruptions. So guys, we're going to listen to the affected parties here, their arguments, their sentiments, and of course we're also going to come up at the end of it with more sentiments, more critical thinking, analysis over the same. But along the line, if you feel like you're pressed so hard that you cannot afford not to leave that particular comment in the comment section, do so. Drop us your comments and sentiments, your thoughts on what exactly you think of this video, and of course the whole topic at large. Let's meet at the end of it.
And from bad to worse, United's Optum subdivision laid off between 20 and 35% of its workforce today. It's about 20,000 people. All of Optum virtual care gone. $99 billion in revenue this quarter.
Already, arguably, one of the worst healthcare corporations that we have to deal with. Already having issues with staffing and processing claims and everything else that they have their greedy hands into. And now we get rid of 20,000, at least 20,000 workers. And where do those jobs go? Who completes that work? Is it AI? Is that what it is? So now we can have all of our claims and everything denied so much easier? Is that it? And what about that profit? Is it going back to people who are paying premiums? Is it going to doctors? This is absolutely out of control. Optum, United, Change Healthcare, still providers have not been paid. I have not been paid since February because of Change Healthcare and this debacle. This is out of control.
I've got breaking news about United Healthcare. After their remarkable loss of $43 billion in a day, more massive layoffs. Optum Insights is laying off hundreds, maybe thousands of people, and those jobs are being shipped elsewhere.
Once the oath has been fulfilled and Trump is no longer in office and neither his administration, veterans, please, I would like to know, how are we going to rebuild veteran affairs and making sure you are all treated with the respect you deserve for saving your country and your people as the oath you took commands? For we have a domestic enemy who is destroying the people and the country and does not serve us. Now, In 2014, I was one signature away from joining the U.S. Army, and I actually ended up deciding not to because I looked into the benefits with scrutiny and I knew it would not be worth it for me. And 11 years later, here I am, and I do want to fight for your rights. If you fight for me as an American and millions of others who are against this administration, I promise you, I will fight. And this is the thing. Once the military takes over and stops what's happening, when we rebuild, even democracy will not look the same, because we are still going to make sure we are coming after every corrupt politician. It's not about left or right, it's about who is serving the people and who is serving themselves and the capitalistic elite. So please, join with me and let me know in the comments, how are we going to rebuild? Because we must pray, proclaim, and declare that we will conquer this evil, and we, the people, will rise up and actually respect veterans the way that they should be. All right, have a great day.
His followers, they stay silent because they fear him. They stay silent because they convince themselves that someone else is going to fix this. But history doesn't bend towards justice on its own. It bends because people like us demand it. Because we want it so. So today, we send this message to every Republican in Congress who still believes in the rule of law. Stand up! Stand the fuck up! Fight for your own career, or you can fight for your country.
All right, some of you Democrats and liberals want some answers for the veterans, you know, because the VA is getting demolished, right? So I have a lot of liberals and Democrats coming at me saying, how do you feel about this one, Teresa? Your dad was a veteran, 100% disabled because he was shot in Vietnam, so he was in a wheelchair at the age of 19 and could never walk again, right? Paralyzed from the chest down. Couldn't open his hands, but he managed to get through life very independently, and he learned to get around. He went food shopping by himself. He went Christmas shopping. He actually washed his own damn car, leaning up against the car to wax it. So, that all being said, do any of you idiots know what the VA is about? Do any of you idiots know that the VA is so fucking corrupt, it's insane? And excuse my language, I try not to use the extended curse words on TikTok because I tried to veer away from that because I do have a potty mouth. However, being a daughter of a veteran for 50 years, I know all about the VA. I know what they do. I know how corrupt they are. And you want to hear some corruption? I mean, this is just a good example for you. My dad had 2 wheelchairs. One for inside the house and one for in his car because it's so damn heavy nobody can lift it out. So it just has to stay in the car, and that's what he used to get around going out places, right? The one wheelchair broke for in the house. They would not replace it because he had another wheelchair that he could use, even though he couldn't use that wheelchair in the house because it was too damn big for our house. Because if you see my dad's house, it's pretty small. Don't mind the mess, okay? But let's just take a good look. You see that? That hallway? Yeah, that's the hallway that would have went to my dad's bedroom. And the goddamn wheelchair, sorry, Lord, didn't mean to use your name in vain, doesn't fit in the doorways. Like, let's go take a look at a doorway, okay? This is my son's doorway. A wheelchair is not getting through that. It's not getting through that, right? But You have to have all these measurements and stuff when you're going to get your house done from the VA. And it takes the VA almost a year to pay that contractor. We lost a contractor because he wasn't getting paid from the VA, and he actually said he would never do this again. That's how shitty it is. But the VA, our veterans that come out of wars and they have PTSD and they have all kinds of mental issues, they're not being helped. Hence the reason of why we have 22 veterans a day killing themselves, taking themselves out, because they don't have the support they need. But these were the people that put the boots on, the uniform. So all you little crybabies out there bitching and crying about the fucking VA and blah, 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 and Trump's ripping it apart, you obviously don't know what's actually happening with the VA. But if you talk to the veterans' daughters or sons that have to deal with this every day, they'll be able to tell you the same damn thing. The VA is corrupt. They pick and choose what patients they want to help. And the ones that really, really, really need the help, they don't want to help. Do you want to know why? Because of the amount of money they'd have to put out on that patient. When you want to come at me about something, you might want to get your facts straight before you come lashing at me, because I'm not the one that's going to be all nice to your face. Oh, hell no. I've already had a friend come at me about this. And until she actually works for the Veterans Affairs, she don't know shit either. So, before you come at me about these veterans, get your goddamn facts straight, sorry, Lord, before you come at someone, because you just don't know all the information that they know. So there's your little educational stance for today. Have a good day.
Right, guys, as I told you previously that I'll show up with my own analysis. In the wake of this particular chaos, United Health's Optum subdivision announced the layoff of up to 20,000 workers, between 20% and 35% of its workforce. And this move has, of course, raised fears of increased reliance on artificial intelligence and further delays in claims processing. And healthcare providers have already reported not being paid since February, worsening financial instability in this particular sector. In addition to the controversy, Optum has introduced a high interest pay day loans for physicians to cover delayed insurance as claims. Now, these loans with annual rates reaching up to 36% have been widely criticized as unethical and exploitative, drawing attention to the company's questionable practices. Now, the crisis has hit U.S. military veterans especially hard. Now, the Department of Veteran Affairs, VA, has come out clearly, condemning the whole thing. Now, has faced major on this particular case, its community care program, with many veterans now struggling to access mental health services and specialized care. They report that the VA's partnership with Optum has restricted, their options to a limited network of providers, leading to long wait times and inadequate care. And this shift to privatized care under Optum network has sparked, of course, outrage, with many veterans, feeling abandoned and dissatisfied, with the quality and accessibility of their healthcare systems. I go by Sherlock once again, and in case you haven't subscribed, do so. And of course, leave that particular notification bell on for, you'll be the first one to be notified of our future uploads. And above all, stay tuned. Signing out.